So I've been fishing here for a good minute now, and I'm just trying to test my luck out here to see if I'd be lucky enough to fish out a mending book. And I did some research, and it turns out I have a 0.05% chance in casting a mending book out of the water, especially with this unenchanted fishing rod here. But don't you worry, we still have this guy trapped since the last episode, and he's made himself comfortable. Welcome back everybody to yet another episode of the Forever World series, and in today's episode, we've got a lot on the agenda. In our last episode, we finished this horse stable to house our single horse, and I gotta say, this really turned out great. And as an extra bonus, we have ourselves a brand new member to the club. He's got no name yet, but he's a pretty good runner, and I would say we have a chance in possibly adding one more horse here before we gotta expand, or maybe even we could build a secondary horse stable. I don't know, we'll see what happens. And now let us focus our attention to the project of this episode, and you already know, probably by the thumbnail of the video, we're building our very own custom forest, and I'm not looking forward to it. Just kidding, building and designing structures are a lot of fun, but nothing beats reshaping an entire area into something totally different and unrecognizable. The game plan is pretty simple. Since a couple episodes ago, we created a lot of empty land that needs to be filled up, and anywhere you see free space, we're just gonna build a custom tree there. So this is gonna require us to clean up this area here, so we're gonna have to probably relocate these guys someplace else. And then we're gonna work section by section, starting by this door that leads into my storage room, all the way to the horse stable over there. That's gonna be a lot of trees. Am I ready for it? Absolutely not. Am I excited to get started? No. Would I rather fish all day to get a mending book? Of course. As much as that would be cool, we do need to attend to some more pressing matters. This village is bothering me. For the longest time now, I've been meaning to tear this village apart, reduce it to atoms. And you might be thinking as to why that is. Well, the main reason why is because of future plans, and by having this village here just won't work. And this sightline here will also completely change in the future when we reach to that point. So I've just really been putting this off for a while, and whenever I'm down there, I just look up and I'm just reminded of this daunting task. But don't worry about these guys. As soon as I get rid of the iron golems, these guys will be relocated to a new home. And that home is a full-time trading hall. Now this looks a lot better. It's literally as if nothing was here and I could finally check this off the to-do list. As for the residents that lived here, they'll get to enjoy this view until we build our trading hall. Like, yeah, it's not a real view, but we need to appreciate the fact that I made something for them to look at instead of nothing. Right? Totally humane. Landscaping changes everything. I mean, it's simple. Every build needs an outline, a frame if you will. You will notice that this door has been made centered for our vision, and the paths and trees act as attention directors. They are here, but they help lead your eyes to where they should be looking. It's pretty much forced perspective. But man, this has been a great start. When I first decided to live here, I was a little bit hesitant at first, and that's mainly because of the lack of trees and foliage around, because it was a plains biome. But whenever there's empty space, there's always room for opportunity, and that's pretty much why I just ended up making my own forest. That way I have full control over how the atmosphere should look. Look at today's progress as a sample for the future. This is because we still have a lot of ground to cover, and eventually my goal is to turn the base essentially into a custom forest. I don't know if you could notice it, but there's a very subtle shade that's being casted onto the ground, which is the very thing that I die for. It adds depth, it immerses you into your surroundings, and it adds a little bit of realism into the environment. That's enough rattling on my obsession of shadows, but I now did want to build some sort of shack in the forest. Not sure what for, but just something to kind of help drag your attention towards it off in the distance. AKA, I am sick of building trees and I need a break. So let me see what I could come up with. And now we have ourselves a little shack. But following our rule that demands every build should be framed as if it were a painting, this shed doesn't sit right. So let's say our shed was the center of our painting. Let me just quickly change my FOV. But let's say this was the center of our painting. All we have to do now is just fill in the outline and kind of make it feel as if it's inside of this forest. So that's right, you guessed it. That means we're building even more trees. And there we have it. My finger is tired and I am just sick of placing so many leaves. But at the end, this pays off and I think this just looks absolutely amazing. So if you liked how this turned out, or if you have any suggestions on what we could do to make this forest better, let me know in the comments down below. But of course, we are far from done and I got a lot more I'd like to do. So that's something to look forward to. But that just about wraps up our episode for today. Next time, I have a pretty interesting build that I got planned and I got some ideas for this forest. And with that, my name is Ultra161 and I'll see you in the next one.